So what do you bring to the table?
Well, a lot. Support, unconditional love. I cook, I clean. I've got great
What
conversation
is
if you want. I
unconditional
make
love?
jokes.
Unconditional love. You already left a guy before. If your love was unconditional, you'd still be with that guy. You'd still be
Well, it's not
married.
always unconditional, is it? Not every time, but it can be.
What does unconditional mean then?
Unconditional with an
Without
asterisk.
conditions.
Yes, but I mean, in those circumstances, it was not unconditional love. I'm not going to unconditionally love somebody who's being cruel to me every day.
So you don't bring unconditional love.
I can bring
You
unconditional
bring
love.
You bring conditional love.
No, I
because it
can
comes with
bring unconditional
conditions.
love. Well, I guess see what you're saying. If you're going to be torturing me all day long, then I guess all love is conditional. If you're going to look at it like that.
That's the first straight answer I've heard from you in 2 weeks. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What else? I mean, these are all good things. I can't imagine why a guy wouldn't want these things. What are you
Some
leaving
people
out?
aren't
What are you not
ready.
telling us?
My last ex wasn't ready.
What does that mean?
He said he was younger and he wasn't in a place he was ready for a serious relationship, which is fine. Other than that, I mean, my previous
That's what
relationship
he
before
said.
that,
He just said,
yeah,
"I'm not ready for a serious relationship."
yeah.
So, what do you think that means? Like, what do you attribute that to? Do you think
Well,
he
he
had a
has
bunch of
his whole
options, a
career
bunch of
that he's
other
doing.
girls, or what?
I'm sure he did. I mean, we also had a long distance relationship, so it was really tough. And it was his first
Oh,
relationship. I
oh
was his first
God.
relationship as well. We weren't long distance the whole time. For 5 months, the first 5 months we weren't. Then he left um, because of his visa stuff, and he was working on getting his visa to come back. And then we had gone away on a trip, and he said that's when he fell in love with me. And then after that, the distance got really difficult for him. He has a new feeling he'd never been in love before. This is my theory anyway, and it's not great to feel those things. So why would you want to love someone that's so far away and you can't be with yet? You know? And he says, I'm just not ready. It's a bit too serious for me right now. I'm just not there yet.
You think
So-
maybe it was the distance and that he probably had another girl who was closer?
Well, he did start DMing a girl, which I found out about. And I said, just for a week. And I said, why did you do this? I even spoke to her. She was a lovely girl, by the way. And he said, I did it because I needed to distract myself from how much it hurt missing you. Then he also said he was bored. I was like, I'm gonna go
That's
with
the
the bored more than that one. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, he's just young. He's got a lot to discover. It's his first love, you know. And it's really difficult to be in a long distance relationship for your first relationship too. So I don't blame him, you know.
I mean,
He's got a lot of discovering to do.
long distance relationships aren't relationships. Like they never work out.
Yeah, it's
There's no
difficult.
such thing as a long distance. It's not a relationship.
It can't.
doesn't exist.
Yeah.
There's
And that
no
doesn't
reason
get
to
better
do
if
it.
that doesn't get better if it's your fourth or fifth relationship and not your first. Like
Yeah,
that
but it's
doesn't
more
get better at
difficult.
some
Long
point.
distance
It's always
never
a bad
works.
relationship.
Yeah.
Never works.
It's not
for any
sustainable.
reason. So what's your plan, Lauren? If the guys that you're dating have all these options and they're not settling down with you, I mean, you have a decision
gonna
to
keep-
make. Like you have
I'm
choices
just
to
put my
make,
best
right?
foot
Like,
forward. That's all I can do, right?
well, how is that working out for you right now?
I'm going on a few dates. I've had somebody who's pretty interested. And I'm just seeing what happens.
So someone's interested in you, but doesn't sound like you're interested in them.
No, I am. I'm just, just going with the flow of it, seeing where it takes us. I don't want to rush into something without fully knowing someone.
Would you take the same approach to your job in your career and got where you were in the high level jobs and the paying jobs that you have by just seeing where things go and going with the flow? Or did you take a more active role?
No, a lot of it was actually just seeing what worked, making mistakes, and finding out what worked better. So it's exactly the same as how I date.
So what mistakes are you making and how are you making it? That's what I'm trying to get to. Like, what are you
I
going to
think
like?
the
What are you
mistake, the
doing
main
differently?
mistake is I give too much too soon, and people don't appreciate. And I've been told by this from my male friends, you give too much too soon, and then they don't appreciate it. So you need to hold back a
What,
little
for
bit.
example?
So
Like
what's too much?
them coming over and me making meals all the time, or just giving too much of like my time or attention, basically, is what has been explained to me by my
I think
gay
your male
friends.
friends, I think your guy friends are trying to sabotage you.
You think?
Absolutely. That's
Unless you're
terrible advice.
doing his whole meal prep on the first date.
No, not even that.
And that's a
Like
different
sitting
story.
here saying and doing things that add value to a guy's life and doing things and showing up and coming cooking meals and giving time and attention. Like that's what guys want. That's what high level
It
guys want.
is.
That's what guys that actually want women to do. So like withholding time and attention, like
But at the same
why
time,
would
do
a
you
dude
appreciate
keep a
it if someone's
girl
just giving
around?
it to you? Like, if they're just giving it, do you really, really appreciate it? Because,
If
like
it's a
we were
girl
saying,
that I want it from, yeah. See, that's the caveat. This is what a lot of
well,
women
so
don't
then
understand.
how do you
Yeah,
decide what girl it is you want it from? What makes them
well,
different?
there's a lot of things. I mean, a lot of things is listen, I'm not like a lot of guys out there. Like, what's Maha mentioned it's important to have an open mind when it comes to relationships before the show. I am the complete opposite. I don't have an open mind. Like I have a program, I have a list of things that I want out of a relationship, and you need to check these boxes or there's the door. And that's okay. Go find somebody else who wants to compromise or who wants to like debate or who wants to be like, well, I can do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays if you do it on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. No, that's not how it works. So there are guys out there that want things done a specific in a certain way, and women should do well to be within those parameters and those checks boxes. If that's the guy that you want and the guy that you're truly interested in, you need to do everything you can to get on that
And how,
guy's program.
so then how do you find out what those things are that he wants?
Well, men in general are pretty simple. I mean, cooking and cleaning is always a good start, but you need to find ways to be useful to a guy's life. Think about what a guy wants to spend his time on or what he actually needs to do and what he needs to allocate his time on. Usually it's like a career or it's business, or in some cases like it's even raising kids. So how do you lighten the burden and lighten the load for that guy to make yourself useful to his life? Like a woman that will be soft and feminine and be pleasant to be around, because because we talked about this before, a man's life is full of competition. It's full of not knowing where the next bill is going to be paid. It's keeping a roof over your head. A man's life is difficult and hard inherently. It's about competition. There's people out there. You've got all of these men that are competing for the same amount of money, the same women, the same jobs, the same businesses, the same markets. And it's a dog eat dog world out there for men. Men have to make themselves valuable. They don't inherently gain value just because of how they're born. That's the job for women.
So
Women inherently have value. So the last thing a man wants is to have a woman that's going to compete with him or is going to be any of this banter and this back and forth or anything that's going to add any additional stressors. A woman should, if she wants to be with a man, needs to find a way to reduce that burden and those stressors as much as possible. And it's really simple because men are really simple creatures. Be sexually open and adventurous, be useful and add time or lessen the load when it comes to his life. And it really, like, women think I'm joking when I say this, but I'm being 100%. It's just being pleasant to be around, like being actually pleasant. The nagging wife and girlfriend thing, that trope exists for a reason, because it's like guys just want to be left alone for the most part. Like most dudes are cool to come home, eat a nice hot meal, get his feet rubbed, get laid, pass out and go to sleep. That's the dream for like 99% of men out there. We're such simple creatures, but women are like, well, he wants me to challenge him and he wants me to push him and he wants me to make sure that he's doing what he needs to do, or I need to, and you don't do it consciously because you're like, oh, I need to make sure this is a guy that's worthy of me doing all this for. But women get stuck in this never ending push pull of competition and this and the other. And that's what turns those dudes off. And a dude would just rather be like, look, I compete with guys all day. I don't want to come home to one.
so what happens when you do all those things, right? And it still doesn't work out?
Well, I
Welcome to
mean, the
dating.
example you
I
were
mean,
just
it's a tough
That's true.
tough game out there. I
Do
mean,
you know
there's
what
no
I mean?
guarantees of anything. Yeah, but there's no guarantee. But what's the alternative, right? Like
Does
the
it stop it? Right.
alternative,
Exactly.
but the alternative is what? Like if you want to be alone, if you don't want to date anybody ever, like you don't want to have kids, you don't want to have a
Exactly. So you
family.
just
I
have to keep
mean,
trying. That's why I'm saying. That's why I go back to I
right,
can
but
have
it's
you on
not
the
about
phone.
just
Just keep
keeping and
trying.
trying. It's not just keeping trying. It's adjusting your strategy. It's finding out what doesn't
Right.
work and figuring out what does, and then doing more of what
But
does,
you
so
just
you give
named
yourself the
all the
best chance.
things. that I've done and it hasn't worked.
Yeah, but Lauren, honestly, like, do you really think that's what it is? Do you really think that do you really think there's no fault or there's nothing that you're doing that turns guys off?
All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.